Hi, and welcome back to GCSE History lessons. In this lesson, we will look at the outcomes of the Potsdam Conference in July 1945 and the new British PM, Clement Attlee. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the objectives, outcomes, and consequences of the Potsdam Conference and understand the motivations and personality of Clement Attlee, Churchill's successor. You will remember from previous lessons that at Yalta in February 1945, the Big Three made many agreements about what should happen after World War II. Some of these agreements included free elections for countries occupied during the war and the division of Germany into occupation zones until a solution could be made about Germany's future. You will also remember that after the Yalta Conference, Roosevelt was replaced by anti-communist Truman. Stalin pressured Poland into electing a communist-friendly government, and the US detonated the world's first nuclear weapon. Therefore, when the leaders met again in Potsdam on July 17, 1945, for the final wartime conference, the tone was very different. At Potsdam, from July 17th until August 2nd, the Big Three tried to make progress on the agreements made at Yalta earlier in the year. But this time there were strong differences between the leaders, and their relationship was not as positive as it had been at Yalta. Stalin demanded reparations from Germany, while Truman and Churchill wanted to speed up German recovery. The US and UK eventually allowed Stalin to extract as much resources from his occupation zone in eastern Germany as he wished, as well as 10% from the western zone. Stalin managed to convince the US and UK to recognise the pro-communist government in Poland. But the unification of Germany was impossible to resolve. Russia feared future conflict against a unified Germany, as had happened twice in the previous 30 years. The French also feared German reunification, but were not invited to Potsdam, and this caused tension between France and its Western allies. Without an agreement on Germany, the US, UK, France and USSR remained in control of their occupation zones indefinitely. The relationship between the Big Three also deteriorated during the conference. Truman hinted to Stalin that he possessed a powerful new weapon, and Stalin accused Truman of keeping secrets from his allies. Stalin had also interpreted the Yalta and percentages agreement differently from Churchill. He believed that the percentages agreement had given him a sphere of influence in Eastern Europe, where he could do what he liked without British interference, just as he had given to Churchill in Greece. When the pro-communist government was set up in Poland, Churchill felt betrayed. When Churchill protested against these events at the Potsdam Conference, Stalin believed he was reneging the Yalta Agreement. So the Potsdam Conference achieved nothing on the question of German unification, and it raised tensions between the US, UK, and USSR. Further tension was created by the politics at the time of the Potsdam Conference. While many Europeans, like Churchill, disliked communism, many saw it as a valid alternative to capitalism, and socialist and communist political parties in Eastern and Western Europe began to gain strength. In Czechoslovakia, Communist Party membership rose from 28,000 to 1,200,000 in 1 year from May 1945. And in Italian and French elections, communists won around 20% of the vote. In the UK, Churchill was replaced halfway through the Potsdam Conference by a socialist leader named Clement Attlee. While Attlee was a strong leader, his attention was taken by matters of the destroyed UK economy. He returned home after the Potsdam Conference and began to socialise British society, including establishing the National Health Service, NHS, and nationalising British rail, coal and electricity industries. So, to summarise what we've learned today, at the Potsdam Conference of July and August 1945, the leaders of the Grand Alliance agreed that Stalin could take reparations from Germany from the USSR occupied zones. The pro-communist government in Poland was recognised by the Big Three. Tensions between the Grand Alliance stemmed from confusion, disagreements and distrust between the Big Three. The Grand Alliance could not reach any agreement on the fate of Germany. And socialism and communism were becoming popular ideas during the second half of 1945, and Socialist Prime Minister Clement Attlee replaced Churchill as leader of the UK midway through the conference. Next lesson, we will take a look at the defeat of Japan and the use of atomic bombs. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on GCSE History Lessons.